each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you are all having a good day. Welcome, Dan Tan. That's kind of fun to say. I'm still doing some sharing here. Sorry, I got to move you for a second. There we go. All right. Be a few minutes before we get started. I still got some sharing to do, and it'd just be a few minutes if you're willing to hang out. I usually talk during this too, so that we're not just sitting here in silence. Kind of like an AA meeting where we're sitting in silence. And let's talk about that, actually. If you're chairing a meeting, your job is to keep the meeting going. That's actually your job. I was told silence in AA is like radio. Dead air is bad. What are we doing? We don't meditate in there. All right. Yeah, people are shy. Call on them. You're not doing anything out of the ordinary. You're supposed to call on people. It's called encouragement. Oh, you want to hear from me? Yeah, I'm more willing to share now. Well, I don't want to force them to share. You're not forcing them to share. What you're doing is you're asking them to participate in their own recovery, and it works very, very well. Okay. Now, you make sure you speak first, right? But there should not be dead air in ever. Okay. If you're too shy to call on people, make it easy on yourself and make it a tag meeting. All right. But no more dead air. Morning, Amber. Those are the people that don't want to be called on. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Then what they could say is, my name is Dion. I'm an alcoholic and I'm going to listen today. There is nothing wrong with this. Trust me. There should be no dead air in the meeting. Then why bother? Then why bother being there? We're there to share our experience, strength, and hope. That's what the meeting is for. A meeting is for people to discuss, not to meditate. Okay? Trust me on this. It's hard. It's hard. I know. It's fucking hard. All right? But good morning. Good morning. We're going to do a random reading. I have no idea what we're going to do yet. So, Leisure, you snuck in there on me. Leisure. I will apologize. I may be a little reactive today. I'm still pretty excited from yesterday. And when I'm excited, I tend to be reactive. So I'm going to apologize in advance because I'm feeling it. Okay, I'll read it. You didn't send me anything. Are you talking about in the group? Good morning. There's Jillian. I don't have anything from you yet. Hold on, because I want to know if she sent me something. I don't see it yet, honey. So, all right. Oh, I guess I have to get the book number, don't I? So let's go to Google, and I've already asked too many questions. Random number between 1 and 64. Now, the only problem with this is it cuts out the doctor's opinion, which I don't like. Page 7. So we're going to go to page 7. Oh, okay. Now you're messing with me. Okay, that's why. Oh, you'd switch. Okay, cool. Yeah. Go to my reading big book. Got a new sponsee yesterday. I think it's gonna work out well. I like new sponsees. Feels fresh. It feels, the excitement's kind of there. Yeah. I read this book, so I've got the dang thing memorized. Anyway, we're gonna go page 7. Can't do shit with that thing. Okay. Well, I know my shit's running a little bit behind. So, all right. You want me to do that? You know what? Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead. This is what I'm going to do. Give me a second because I like this. I'm going to go ahead. It's random. I haven't even read it yet. Oh, you guys cannot, you can't see it on there, but we're going to do something else. Window. There it is. All right. So, life is what happens to us while we're making other plans. What happened to our years of drinking and using other drugs? They seem to pass so quickly with so little to show for them. We had plans, but we didn't get where we wanted to go. There was always tomorrow. Great reading. This is a good reading. I like this one. I'm going to have to read the whole thing and then we can kind of, right. Sometimes you'd rather hear some silence in a meeting, right? Depending on who's talking. Yeah, there was always tomorrow. What a difference today. Now we work at the program that now we work a program that really helps us live, helps us really live each day. We're not losing time out of our lives anymore. Now our day is full of full of life, sight, sound, people, feeling, those who we used to miss out on. Oh, those things we used to miss out on. We may have the help of a higher power makes every day important. I have to move this because the phone's in the way. Higher power, help me to do your will for me today. I place this day in your care. Be on the lookout for signs of life. I like that. Look out for signs of life. Okay, what the fuck is going on here? Half the stuff is in these new window things. Yeah, I'll move something over here and it takes up half my screen and then I'm not used to it. Yeah, I'll get sober tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's noon somewhere. All these little things that we use to continually put off. There's a saying, of course, I think Tony Stark, Iron Man, but his real name is Robert Downey Jr. I was just trying to give myself the time to remember the name. That's what I was doing. He said, because it's like July. He's like, I think about having a drink, and then I remember I have plans for Christmas. That's such an alcoholic thing to say. And it's me because is it? I like Hazelden, and I think I'm going to get that book. I have the One Day at a Time, Hazelton, but it doesn't feel like it's caught up. That's it. That's what it is. This book doesn't. So if you could send me like a link to that book or something, I would appreciate that. Because I need some more daily reflection stuff, and I think we need to start varying it because the daily reflections just it sucks. Oh, so he's trying to join us. I'm gonna have to turn up my volume a little bit so that people on Instagram can hear you. Hopefully they can hear you.
They can't hear.
Huh?
They can't hear when you're talking on
No,
Instagram.
no, they may not. They're not on Restream.
That's weird. It's a meta platform.
They're on my phone right here. See, I'm on Instagram Live right there.
Huh.
Yeah, weird. So tomorrow, we're always gonna get sober tomorrow. I will let everybody know why I do that because you probably think it's weird. Now, first of all, I do not have Facebook on my phone. I took it off my phone. I won't put it on there. So if I want to do multi, I have to do stuff. Now, if I want Instagram with here on us, I will not be able to see the chat. I will not be able to interact. And so I do it this way because I'm more of an interactive rather than stars and likes and stuff. So that's why it's all technical shit. And I'm going to do whatever is easier for Dion. That's just how it's going to go.
We have a member in AACM celebrating 50 years today.
I saw
50.
that. Yeah, they did not put it off till tomorrow. They did not put it off till tomorrow. So we have a reading, and the reading is, I always put things off till tomorrow, and now I live in today, and that's helping. We have a random reading from page 7 that we're gonna do here in a minute.
Hi, Amber.
And it was what Amber posted in Grassroots. I thought it was a really good reading.
Yeah, I read that.
Before I forget, tonight's podcast, we're going to go ahead and wait another week. I need to prepare for tomorrow's meeting. So we're going to wait a week. I need to focus on that, just to kind of let people know. But I was always putting stuff off till tomorrow. Fuck, I'm doing it now. I have a bunch of cleaning that I need to do. And every time I put it off, gosh, the harder it seems to get to it. Right? It's harder to get to now, because now it's on my mind, and I'm a little frustrated about it, and these other things are going on. So I even do that to this day, and I'm sitting here in my head, well, Dion, that's it's a priority. You need to go live. That's more of a priority. No, that's not really more of a priority. It's sometimes I'm just wasting time because I don't know what to do. I figure going live is probably better than doing something stupid,
I have to,
about the right things.
I might freeze here for a second, but I'm still listening. I got to make an appointment with DMV.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, right?
Did you know that I have a contact for the DMV and the Hayworth house? Now that I have this other stuff in line, I'm going for the house this week now. After this meeting, my next job is to find a house. So, I don't remember what I was saying. I'm not quite awake. But the DMV, I have a contact, and what they'll do is they will actually come to the house and help these guys get their driver's license and
Really?
IDs. Yes, I do. I have that contact. I got it set up for East Metro Detox, and they were like, "Yeah, thanks." Now, what the fuck's wrong with you? People need their IDs so they can go do these places, and okay. It's one of the things we're changing about detox. All right, reintegration can start in detox. It sure can. Why put it off till tomorrow? Why put that off till tomorrow? Why put somebody else's sobriety off till tomorrow? No, we're not going to do that here.
That doesn't make sense to me. Whatever. They're a detox. It's what they do. Do they not believe in 12-stepping?
No, they don't.
All right, I'll be right back. If I freeze.
In fact, go ahead. Yeah, go for it, because I know you're listening. In fact, part of what's happening is, let's say somebody goes into this detox that we're putting in and they say, I need help. Well, if they can't give us 80% of the people working in recovery, because I may not be able to pull that off, but it's a good number. And if they can't do that, then what's going to happen is we will be the first person to get a phone call. Hey, this person needs help. And then we're going to go to detox, and we're going to 12-step them. We're going to get back to this grassroots kind of stuff, man. And it's going to be neat. I'm even considering opening another central office up here north, because there are some weird things going on. Anyway, and we can't put this stuff off. We can't continue to do it. We are people of, and that's a good landing spot for that. We are a people of action. And if we don't have the right action, if we don't have the right progress, and Daryl, while you're doing that, I'm gonna take you off screen while you're doing that. I love you, but it's a little distracting. Just yell at me when you're ready. But we're people of action, and you may have some actions that, they may not seem like they coincide with AA, but I can tell you that they do. Hold on a second, please. All right. My son got him. I'm trying to back my son up, and I may have been a little loud because grandson's up there screaming. He's like, stop screaming. But when it comes from somebody else and it's grandpa, he goes, okay. And it's unfortunate, but we need to, there's a balance there. Anyway, but I don't want to yell if I don't have to. I yell. So I always give it a couple more seconds, and isn't that what we alcoholics need to do? So anyway, you might think that are you making the world a better place? Okay, well, that is AA. In my book, that's AA. Check on him. No, he still isn't moving. And there's a lot of service work going on out there. I now have people coming to me, even landing on this page saying, Dion, we love what you're doing. I want to do some service work. I want to do some service. I love this excitement. I'm going to tell you something. I'm an emotional vampire. Okay. It's called being a super empath. I steal your emotions. And when you get excited, I get more excited, right? You cry, I cry. We're connected. We're all spiritual beings and we're connected. I think more than we know. More than we're caring to admit, sometimes for me, I look at this great big fucking world and it gets overwhelming. Then my mind will start thinking, how did they build that street? Where did we get all these homes? How did all this fucking happen? And see how I'm building on these big emotions. I need to right size them. Okay, Dion, yeah, all that happened, but what are we doing? What are we doing? You're not a construction guy, dude. I wish I was a little bit more handy. Honestly, I do. I'm getting there. I'm actually working on it. Right? I'm working on it because I'm seeing other people do it. And I'm like, God, that looks nice. And I want to do something that's like that and make it look nice. But we can't. It's kind of what I'm doing with the detox. We can't put this off till tomorrow. Okay, now I see these people, we're having like actual conversations. Like something was said, they laughed. Now we're on it. Now I can feel the lightheartedness. They're like, oh, what I feel is this. Whew. That's the feeling I get from them. Whew. And what is that? It means that Dion's done yelling at them. That's what it means. Now I need to say something. I need to tell on myself a little bit because they did write me back in August. They did. They wrote me back in August. I did not see it. I cannot find the email, but my junk doesn't go back that far. But I have no reason to disbelieve that. So was a mistake made on my side? Yes, it was. And the first thing I did when I wrote them back was made an amends. I did something wrong. If I cannot be a good example to these people, they are not going to listen to a fucking word I said. Now, was that mistake done on purpose? Yes, it was. Not by me, but by God. He wanted me to make an amend. He did. He wanted me to make an amend. Because he knew that he'd be like, Dion, you're okay with your little human mistakes. He knows I can do that. So he provides me with those types of jobs. Okay. But I worked very, very, very hard to get there. Very hard. I did a lot. I had to do a lot of internal work. Okay. I still do. It just looks natural because I have to do it all the time. Now I have these healthy habits. I have good habits. Right. Now this guy is trying to go back and forth with me on Facebook about the homeless. Right. And because what I said is, I think this is a great idea. You guys are doing really well, but they're doing a sleep out. And I want them to realize that they'll never, ever feel what those people are feeling. And that's kind of what I brought up. Okay. But this guy just wants to argue. Okay. But I'm going to do everything that I can to educate, even though he's arguing with me. I know narcissism when I see it. It's not hard. All right. Things like, see, you could be kind. And I'm like, I'm not kind, dude. You just don't understand. Anyway, these are the things that will come along and frustrate. What is that? Just watch what you post. these side businesses and stuff, I've kind of gotten away from posting and trying to correct them. Now, when I see something like, hey, sober, I'll try and put something more where I can educate, but I'm still in their lane, right? Right? I'm not being kind. I'm doing what's right. There's a difference in my book. So actually, I'm very kind. I'm kind to other people. You bet. I try. Not always. I'm not nice though. I'm not nice. I don't want to be nice. Nice is weak, right? Let's get to page 7. Let's get to page 7. My brother-in-law is a physician. This is in Bill's story. And through his kindness and that of my mother, I was placed in a nationally known hospital for the mental and physical rehabilitation of alcoholics. Under the so-called belladonna treatment, my brain cleared. Hydrotherapy and mild exercise helped much. Best of all, I met a kind doctor who explained that though certainly selfish and foolish, I had been seriously ill, bodily and mentally. It relieved me somewhat to learn that in alcoholics, the will is amazingly weakened when it comes to combating liquor. Though it often remains strong in other respects, my incredible behavior in the face of a desperate desire to stop was explained. Understanding myself, I fared forth in high hope. For 3 or 4 months, the goose hung high. I went to town regularly and made a little money. Surely this was the answer. Self-knowledge. Oh, self-knowledge makes it fucking worse. It does. I have never found a worse hell than a head full of AA and a belly full of booze. I have never ever had when I relapsed, all the information, this thing's a fucking steel trap when it comes to a lot of things. And DSM, I mean, I've been in therapy for so long, it's just a nat thing. It's natural for me to talk that way. Okay. I know all their buzzwords. I understand it. I get it. I was a drug and alcohol counselor, and it does nothing. It makes it worse. What will happen is the big book will become a challenge. There's a part in the big book that said there's those, that you're going to miss out on the last 10, 15 years of literal hell. I'm like, I'll fucking show you. My brain created the challenge. I stayed out for 15 years. See how literal it fucking took it? I didn't know that was the plan, but I went and did it. But it was not, for the frightful day came when I drank once more. I'm surprised he stayed sober for 3 or 4 months. When I drank once more, the curve of my declining moral and bodily health fell off like a ski jump. After a time, I returned to the hospital. This was the finish, the curtain, it seemed to me. My wary and despairing wife was informed that it would all end with heart failure during delirium tremens, or I would develop a wet brain, perhaps within a year. She would soon have to give me over to the undertaker or asylum. Do you know what these are? Okay. That heart failure with DTs. I don't know which one's worse, man. Okay. So what I want to cover is the wet brain. We never talk about this. Nowadays we call it dementia. Yeah. You can actually drink so much that your brain will, and I don't know the actual cause and things like that. I think it's because of the liquid around your brain. Wet brain, that would make sense. But it causes dementia. That is where we end up in insane asylums, and there's no coming back from that one. Once that's done, once it's happened, what you are is now in trauma almost all the time. And the worst part is this: you will be locked up and your brain will want alcohol and you won't be able to get it. And you're going to have to spend the rest of your life that way. It's sad. There's nothing we can do. They won't remember anything. They think half the time they think they're 16 again, drinking, running and gunning. It's sad. It's really hard to see. Okay. But we're tough people, man. We're very tough people. Um, you know, it's not going to just buy a black suit. If you stay in this program for long enough, then it'll happen. The sober OG. I like that. The original gangster sobriety. You must have some good years behind you, but welcome. It's good to have you. All right. But the frightful day came to finish the curtain scene. My wearing, despairing wife was informed that it would all end. Okay. They did not need to tell me. I knew it and almost welcomed the idea. It was a devastating blow to my pride. I, who had thought so well of myself and my abilities and my capacity to surmount obstacles, was cornered at last. He's going to say something here. Okay. He's going to tell you the reason he got sober in this paragraph. And my abilities, my capacity to surmount obstacles was cornered at last. Now I was to plunge into the dark, joining that endless procession of thoughts who had gone on before me. Here it is. I thought of my poor wife. There had been much happiness, what I would not give to make amends, but that was now over. He just found a reason to do it. He just found a reason to get fucking sober. And it will have an effect. Okay, because the next step is him getting sober. Very much. Very much. No words can tell the loneliness and despair I found in that bitter morass of self-pity. Quicksand stretched all around me in all directions. I had met my match. I'd been overwhelmed. Alcohol was my master. Trembling, I stepped from the hospital, a broken man. Feared sobered me for a bit. Then came the insidious insanity of that first drink on Armistice Day, 1934, and I was off again. Everyone became resigned to the certainty that I would have to be shut up or somewhere, or would stumble along to a miserable end. How dark it is before the dawn. In reality, that was the beginning of my last debauch. I was soon to be catapulted in what I like to call the fourth dimension of existence. I would know happiness, peace, and usefulness in a way of life that is incredibly more wonderful as time passes. It's true. Life just gets better. You think it can't get better, and then it does. God's like, oh yeah, challenge. It's like, man, life can't get any better. And God's like, challenge accepted. Ka-ding! Ka-ding!
I'm back.
Look who's back.
I'm back.
Tell a friend. All right. Near the end of that bleak November, I sat drinking in my kitchen. With a certain satisfaction, I reflected there was enough gin concealed about the house to carry me through that night and the next day. My wife is at work, and I wonder if I dared hide a full bottle of gin near the head of our bed. I would need it before daylight. It's the one thing I don't like about Bill. Gin, come on. I hate gin. I'll drink it, but I hate it. My musing was interrupted by the telephone. The cheery voice of an old friend asked if he might come over. He was sober. It was years since I could remember his coming to New York in that condition. I was amazed. Rumor had it that he had been committed for alcohol insanity. I wondered how he escaped. I love that line. It cracks me up. Yeah, Leisure, it sure is a better life than the one I had created before. Yeah. And thank you for putting it that way. What you said is the one I had created before, and now it's a new life through a higher power. I like the way you put that, dude. Thank you. I wonder of course, we would have dinner and then I could drink openly with him. Unmindful of his welfare, I thought only of recapturing the spirit of other days. There was that time we had chartered an airplane to complete a jag. His coming to was an oasis in this dreary desert of futility, the very thing an oasis. Drinkers are like that. So there is a story behind it's an AA comes of age. There's a story behind that. And if I remember correctly, there was a grand opening of this airport or something, and and they did. So I can't remember the full story. I'm not going to do it justice, but let's just say they got too drunk to enjoy it. Right? Okay. Well, they stole an airplane. Is what they did. All right. The door opened and he stood there, fresh skinned and gloating. There was something about his eyes. He was inexplicably different. What had happened? I pushed a drink across his table. He refused it. Disappointed but curious, I wondered what had got into this fellow. He wasn't himself. Come out. What's all this about? I queried. He looked straight at me, simply but smiling. He said, I've got religion. I was aghast, amazed, floored. I was sorry. Okay. So that was it. Last summer, an alcoholic crackpot. Now I suspected a little cracked about religion. Now, what's funny is we all understand this, whether I was an alcoholic or whether I was atheist, agnostic. I had my time with God where I was like, oh, you religious folks, you're just bench warmers and you're this and you're that, right? So I certainly had my opinions, right? You bet. Um, he had that starry-eyed look, though. Oh, he had that starry-eyed look. Yes, old boy, was on fire. To bless his heart. Let him rant. Besides, my gin would last longer than his preaching. And this is the part I love. But he did no ranting. In a matter of fact, he told how two men had appeared in court persuading the judge to suspend his commitment. They had told him a simple religious idea and practical program of action. That was 2 months ago, and the result was self-evident. It worked. So what Ebby is doing here is the 12th step, or it would be the 6th step in the Oxford group, because that's where it came from, the Oxford group. And just a little bit of history. Scott Leisure says, I don't believe in atheists. That's funny. Did you hear about the dyslexic atheist who didn't believe in dog? um,
Oh
but
my.
yeah, and it worked. He had come to pass his experience on to me if I cared to have it. Now he didn't even. He's like, hey, Bill didn't ask for help. Bill didn't ask for help. What happened here was Ebby recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind, and then he thought of Bill. Okay. Now, is he passing on his experience or is he doing a 9th step? Yeah. No, I know, Leisure, but it is still kind of funny. I know you seriously don't. We've had our discussion about that. All right. I was shocked, but interested. Certainly, I was interested. I had to be, for I was hopeless. All right. That he just took the step before the steps. I didn't even know it. He talked for hours. Childhood memories rose before me. I could almost hear the sound of the preacher's voice as I sat on still Sundays. Way over there on the hillside, there was that pro-offered temperance pledge I never signed. My grandfather's good-natured contempt of some church folk and their doings. His insistence that the Spears really had their music, but his denial of the preacher's right to tell him how he must listen. His fearlessness as he spoke of these things just before he died. These recollections welled up from the past. They made me swallow hard. The wartime day in old Winchester Cathedral came back again. I always like to go back, no matter who I'm with, and we go back and we read that. What he had seen was we landed in England. I visited Winchester Cathedral. Much moved, I wandered outside. My attention was caught by a doggerel on an old tombstone. Here lies a Hampshire grenadier who caught his death drinking cold small beer. A good soldier is ne'er forgot, whether he dieth by musket or by the pot. I'd always believed in a power greater than myself. I'd often pondered these things. I was not an atheist. Few people really are, for that means blind faith in a strange proposition that this universe originated in a cipher and aimlessly rushes nowhere. And that's kind of why Leisure doesn't believe in atheists, is because of that right there. My intellectual heroes, the chemists, the astronomers, even the evolutionists suggested vast laws and forces at work. Despite contrary indications, I had little doubt that a mighty purpose and rhythm underlay it all. How could there have been so much precise and immutable law and no intelligence? I simply had to believe in a spirit of the universe who knew neither time nor limitation, but that was as far as I was as gone. Trying to get okay. I'm going to skip a little bit. But my friend sat before me and he made point blank declaration that God had done for him what he could not do for himself. His human will had failed, and doctors had pronounced him incurable. Society was about to lock him up. Like myself, he admitted complete defeat. Then he had, in effect, been raised from the dead, suddenly taken from the scrap heap of life to a level of life better than the best had ever been in him. Had this power originated in him? Obviously, it had not. There had been no more power in him than there was in me in that minute, and that was none at all. I like how he goes. It's right here because he goes into all these different reasons why he wouldn't believe in God. Then he says, my friend suggested that what then seemed a novel idea. He said, why don't you choose your own conception of God? Now, I think it is really, really neat because we got it. I'm thinking on this, right? And when I think religion, right, and the Oxford group, I think Christianity, God, devil, burning. But no, the Oxford group went to him and said, why don't you choose your own conception of God? That was not our idea. That did not originate from AA. It originated from the Oxford group. And what a beautiful concept. It is that concept right there that has allowed millions of people to find a new life, just by simplifying it. Hey, and because the number one, we alcoholics don't like to be told what to do, right? And we don't like to be told what to believe in either. And that includes God. And we will not believe in it to our own detriment. To our own detriment. So what we're doing is we're giving you a choice because nobody ever fucking gave you one before. I didn't have any choices before I got here. Alcohol determined everything that I did. Everything that I did. So, all right. Well, I'm going to wrap this one up. Yeah, guys, did you get your DMV worked out there?
No, I was just listening today, man. Just got stuff going on, so
No worries. No
busy
worries.
day.
I'm going to bring
Got
this
to
back.
take the kitten in tomorrow. Got to drop her off at 7:15.
Oh, going to get fixed, huh?
Yeah, kitty hysterectomy.
Make sure you get her chipped too. It's worth a lot of people don't chip their cat. Well, it's an indoor cat. Well, they like to run out and you might lose your kitty and have it chipped. So just pay the
No,
extra.
she'll get one at
Yeah.
some point. Our other cat's chipped, so.
Yeah.
I need some odometer, and he didn't put a purchase price on there.
We're gonna say gift. It's gonna be.
All right. Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. Got the noon meeting today. For everybody to like to join. And yeah, we'll see everybody kind of a little bit
Yeah, I
later.
might not make that. Get back
Okay.
by then, because our appointment's at 12:15. So
Okay. Not a big deal. Not a big deal.
it'd be the first one I've missed.
It was actually nice to miss one last week. It was a big accomplishment to let the meeting go. It was just it's neat, and I'm just glad that So when we were talking at Vitae, and they were like, and it comes down to they don't have enough people. Well, we can help with that. So, but that's a conversation for another time. Because I'm thinking, it's a great meeting. That's how I would run the grassroots and everything. So maybe we can support it. I don't know. God will.
I
God
don't
will
know.
close. I also don't want to invade their meeting. That's not cool either. So,
No.
but I do But it was nice that they took the time to let us know why it's set up that way, and it's just because that's how it is right now, and that I can go with. So
Well, I don't think they're paying that. I don't think the Zoom meeting is paying all of the rent.
no, but where's the rest of it?
It comes from the contributions
Yeah, I know. But
out of their prudent reserve.
if it was a hybrid meeting, then it would be legitimate, but it's not. And every group's got to be autonomous. I mean, I've already been through this with 3
Well,
other.
that's one of the reasons they were having problems, because the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing.
Yeah, and you know what? We're trudging through it to find the right answers. That's all we're doing right now. Nobody's really doing anything wrong.
I agreed with your point.
Yeah.
But it's just how they have it set up. So
yeah. What I will not go for is, if you're not in the meetings, I'm not going to listen to your suggestion. I guess that
well,
was,
and then there's that, right?
that's me, so.
But that's I mean, Vitality itself has its own steering committee.
Yeah.
And that's how it's done.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, do I go, hey, we should fix this, or should we just join the group and help? That's why at the end I volunteered to chair. I'd be happy to chair that meeting once a week. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, just to help out, because if it wasn't for them being there, all those people, and I don't want to start naming off names, but there's like fucking 300 years of sobriety between these people. And if it wasn't for them, AA wouldn't be here. So maybe Dion doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about on this.
Right? It's going into the common basket. So I don't know. Zoom is a new entity, basically a new entity in the world. And if our contributions are going into whatever the common basket's prudent reserve, and they're using that, then they're using that. So I can't imagine with
the money's still going to
central 8 to 15 people a day are contributing that much. So
yeah, exactly.
But did you find that Venmo?
No, the person that does Venmo, they need to. I can't get it. I cannot get the link for you.
We can't just search it in there.
No, so here you can do it one of two ways. You can either give somebody your Venmo tag because you need to have Venmo then. If you don't have Venmo, then you use a link, and that link will take you.
And they need to just publish the fucking link, man.
And it's just a one-time thing because they're older and they don't know how to do it, dude. It's just.
It's like Gordy holds up that friggin' screen. It's like I'm on my phone. I can't stand that.
I know. He's like, here, if you can scan this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like off the screen.
And I'm not sending some check in a PO box.
No,
not doing it.
No. So, well, the way I see it is, if you're not going to make it easy for me to, I mean, even in in-person groups now, hooked to the basket is usually a little plastic thing, and it's got the QR code, so you can, yeah. So, but you can't, like you're saying, she's like, well, can you take a screenshot? It's like, yes, I can, but that's still going to work.
Right. Then I got a screenshot on my phone that I can't scan. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's not totally true. You can actually do that. And then you can, like where the share thing, if you share it to and pull up the menu of things that you can share it to, one of them will be Google image search. Mm-hmm. And you can actually do that way.
Yeah.
I might try that, actually, now that I thought of it. That and the fact that he does the Venmo thing like this.
Yeah.
About half of it.
Yeah. Because he can't see it. So.
Right, because it's in front of him.
Donations and they don't want to say anything, so they're like, yeah, we don't
I don't know. I'm just looking for solutions.
Yeah. Well, and maybe they don't want those solutions. Yeah. So think of it this way. Venmo for them would be like TikTok for us. We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Oh, I know what I'm doing on TikTok.
It's an example.
Okay. You could have said Excel for me.
Anything math, huh?
No. It's
Fuck Excel.
I've used it and I can kind of do it, but if I'm starting from scratch from a blank sheet, no, I'm not good at that.
Somebody would have to set it up for me. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, man.
Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it.
Peace.
I love you.
Love you.